Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Alyssa and I make Lego as well as lifestyle type videos. Last week we kind of started the Tiny Plants Lego set and I'm just going to kind of continue that one for the rest of this video. So we're going to start with part 4. So in part 1 of this Lego set, I talked a lot about growing a garden and things I used to do when I was younger, and then also like floral tattoos I have and like my plans for that. But this video, I'm doing things a little different. I've been really into watching a lot of like new movies lately. Every day basically I've been watching a new movie. And I thought that I would kind of talk about what I've been watching. So ever since I got back from my trip to Disney World, I've been watching at least like one a day-ish. There was a point where I was not watching very much TV at all, but it's been kind of nice to just chill for a couple hours at the end of the day, and something I look forward to now. So it all started because I watched this movie called Sahara. I think that's what it's called. Basically, it's with Matthew McConaughey, and he is in Africa exploring and trying to find this ship that was, like, it was very special. I think it was made, like, the outside was made with, like, steel or aluminum or, like, something that was very, protective against, like, bullets and anything like that, like, during a war, basically. And he was searching for that because there's treasure in the ship, and he comes across this girl who is a doctor, and she's trying to solve why all of these people are getting so terribly sick from this plague type of thing and all dying. So it kind of just goes off of that, and this is actually a really, like, an older movie. It's not, this one isn't new, actually. But, I really liked the movie. I mean, I don't want to give too much away in case you haven't seen it and you want to watch it, but yeah, it was during the time of Africa's, like, civil war, I believe. And come to find out, it's not a plague, it's a disease that's in the water, and it's coming from this plant that has been contaminating the water. And it has the guy that plays Morgan in The Walking Dead. And that was kind of cool to see him in something else. I don't think I've ever actually seen anything with him in something. And then the doctor, the girl doctor she's the girl that pretends to be Jack in Pirates of the Caribbean. So yeah, that's kind of how everything started. And then I also decided to watch that new movie Wonka, and I did not like it. So it's when Wonka was young, and he's probably like a teenager, I want to say. I could be wrong, maybe a little bit older, but it was not a good movie to me. But basically, he goes to this place and wants to try and sell his chocolate, but the 3 powerhouses of all the chocolate industry prevent him from doing that, and he ends up owing this lady to try to pay her back for all these ridiculous charges. And so he's basically like imprisoned there with all these other kids and adults actually, that owe the same thing and work for her basically. And the best part of the whole movie was the Oompa Loompa, and he was in there for such a small period of time. He was hilarious. It's the only part I liked about the entire movie. There was no good songs or anything. I don't know, I really didn't like it. Alright, we're done with part 4. Just one for this part. So, I also watched Oppenheimer for the first time. I have heard so many people talk about it, and I went in not knowing much about it. It was a very long movie. I feel like it did not need to be that long, but I also really like the guy who played Oppenheimer. He's also in Peaky Blinders, and that's where I know him from originally. I really like that TV show. If you haven't seen it, I suggest watching it. I think there's like 4 seasons now. There might be more actually now. But it just wasn't my type of movie, I guess. It wasn't, I don't know. You had to really pay attention to know what was going on, and some parts got kind of confusing, and I don't know. It was so damn long. Our first little plant from this set 5, or part 5, I guess. So another one I watched is called A Haunting in Venice, and that one I've been waiting to come out. It is another movie in, I guess this is the 3rd one now. They're not really related story-wise, but it's the same detective from it. So the first one was Murder on the Orient Express, and then the second one was Death on a Nile. Loved both of them. I love those kind of movies and shows and everything like that. I really like him, and like I like trying to figure out who did it. And there's some cool like twists and everything, and this one was more of a horror version of the movies, which I'm very much into, scarier movies, I guess. I get that from my mom, actually. We used to watch a lot of horror movies together when I was younger. So I've seen quite a bit of horror movies, and I know for a lot of people it's not their cup of tea, which is completely fine. But I feel this one was not that bad at all. Like, it wasn't that scary. There wasn't really anything like gruesome like a lot of horror movies are. So Alrighty, we're done with part 5. Got these 2 done from that one. The little cactus is so cute. And the other one's like a little flower. Alright, we're on our last part, and I think this one has the most pieces in it and the smallest pieces in it. So this one's going to take me a little bit. So another like genre, I guess, that I've been super into lately, or I guess I've always been into it, is those like murder documentaries, those like Netflix murder documentaries. And I've watched like 3 different ones recently. So one of them was called American Nightmare. And that one is, I mean, they're all pretty terrifying. Like, if you were in any situation like that, it makes it so much worse too because they're actually true and like this could happen to anyone type of thing. But, so I don't know exactly what I can say on YouTube and what I can't, so I'm gonna do my best to kind of describe what happens in them. So, basically, in the middle of the night, these people come in this couple's house and take the girl, and things happen to her while she's gone, and the entire time the cops think that the boyfriend is the one that did it. Like, they keep telling him, you know, your story doesn't sound real, and they keep lying to him, and they think that he did it, and he has her somewhere, and she's not alive anymore, and all this stuff. Like, this poor guy, like, someone came in the middle of the night and took her and tormented you, and the people who are supposed to help you are not helping you. They think that you did it. And then 2 days later, the girl shows up. I think it was like an hour away from where everything happened, and the guy basically lets her go. He did things to her, and that's all he wanted from her. And when the cops talk to her and everything like that, they think that she tried to fake her own death, like Gone Girl, like the movie. And so basically, instead of trying to investigate who took her and who did this to them, the police basically just blame them and try to make a case against them. They never put any work into trying to find who actually did any of this because they were so sure that they knew it was them. But then he tries to do this again to another family, and they fight the guy off, end up with his phone, and basically are able to trace back to where he is and who he is, and end up finding him. And it is not immediately linked that it was this guy who did it, and the cops still are trying to get a case against these 2 people. And eventually a different cop figures out what really happened, and that's when they basically believe the couple. I hope that made sense what I was saying. I don't know if I explained that the best, but but gosh, that must have been absolutely terrifying. You know what happened, and yet no one believes you. You're getting death threats because people think you're lying, and like all this stuff, and terrifying. And then I watched this other one. It was about the Texas killing fields, and basically in like the 80s, 90s, maybe around there, there's this whole strip of highway and this field that goes along the highway, and girls were being found there. And because of the time it was, they didn't really have DNA or any really good ways of finding out who did all this. And so it went on and on and on and on, and like some of them were, I think one of them was like 13. When it was like 13 to like 30-year-olds, and they're all girls. And through the years, evidence got destroyed, and with technology evolving, they weren't able to determine who did it and all this stuff. So 3 of the girls that were found, they were able to find what happened and like who did it. For the rest of them, they know who did it, but they could never prove it. And so he basically got to live his whole life free, even though he basically did it. Everyone knew he did it. So that's terrible. And then this one that I watched last night, it was called The Night Stalker. And this guy, oh man, I can't believe the stuff he did. I can't believe who he did it to. I can't believe he did it to so many people. It took them almost 6 months to find him, even though all the stuff he did. Anyways, you guys should watch those, and if you have any recommendations on ones that I should watch, let me know, because I'm always looking for more. Also, if you have things that you like want me to talk about or want to know about me, to talk in my videos about, and let me know, because I sometimes struggle with things to figure out to talk about. I grew up a very shy person, and so even just me talking now it's kind of a really big accomplishment for me, I guess, because I was so shy and it's not something I would have done. And I don't know, just let me know any topics or things like that you wanna know about. Okay, we're done with part 6. This is our last little one, another little cactus, so cute. All right, we are finally done with this set. Ended up with 9 of these little succulent plant things. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next video.